All right, fam, what's good? What's good? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The Crimson Tide defeated Utah State 55-0 at Bryant-Denny Stadium under the lights. Now Alabama turns the page, and it's finally here. This Alabama-Texas game has been on the minds of many for quite some time. We invite you to call into the show. We'll put the call-in line number up in just a minute. Hit the thumbs up if you roll Tide. We appreciate you guys being here. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Texas coming off a 52-10 victory over Louisiana Monroe. And I'm curious to see how Texas responds in week 2 of the college football season, hosting the number 1 ranked team in America. Let me know where you guys are coming from inside the comment box. Let me know where you guys are watching from inside the comment box. And we appreciate you guys. You got Bryce Young and everything that he did against Utah State. I mean, he was pretty much flawless. And I think it was really interesting to kind of see some of these new wide receivers and their progression. We'll put up the snap counts in just a minute as well. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. We appreciate you more than you know. 1920. He's coming up from beautiful Seattle, Washington. I've been to Seattle many times. I love Seattle. We got someone from Piedmont, Alabama. What's going on, Bob? Thank you very much. We'll put up the call online in just a minute. Love, Grace, and Peace is saying, can I play against Texas? Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Nick Saban would love that. The more the merrier, Alabama Crimson Tide football fans. So every single year we put up the snap counts following the game. So snap counts are basically how many plays that the player actually played in this last game. So we're going to wait for the grades to kind of settle in, because what I've realized is that Pro Football Focus, their grades, it takes a little bit of time for their grades to really take shape. So sometimes the grades are a little bit lower. If you don't know what Pro Football Focus is, it's a organization that puts together player grades following each game. But let's look at the snap counts, because I think the snap counts are really important to see following the first game of the season. Let me zoom in these real quick. Can you guys see this? Chris, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, you guys can see this. Okay. All right. So the total on the far right is the number of plays that the player played in against Utah State. I didn't include everybody, but I did back at Bama Insider. So if you want to go check that out, go to the website, Bama Insider. Brian Branch, he was up at the podium last night. As you can see, they listed him at strong safety, got in a ton last night, playing in 56 snaps. I think Brian Branch is somebody who is certainly deserving of the notoriety that he was brought up to the media table last night. And I think he's a pivotal piece to this Alabama Crimson Tide team. Chris Broswell, it's good to see him playing. And what's interesting about Broswell is that he has a 700-pound squat. I think that's like tops in the SEC or something like that. So 45 snaps for him. And I think it's important that he gets a lot of reps. I think that was by design, clearly. You have DeMarco Hellams, Hitman Hellams. I love that nickname. 44 snaps last night. Malachi Moore. Don't forget about Malachi Moore as we go on through this season. I think sometimes people want to see either Brian Branch or Malachi Moore. It doesn't matter. You want the more quality, the more quality players, the better as you go on through the season. It's a gauntlet of a season. You need talent to rise up. Malachi Moore, Brian Branch, very important to this team. Jordan Battle, 39 snaps. Eli Ricks, 38 snaps. What do you think of some of the corners? I want to hear you inside the comment box. Talk about the play of the corners. I felt the first offensive possession that Terry Arnold needed to turn his head around. Did you guys agree with that? Do you guys disagree? What did you think about the corner play? Deontay Lawson, 37 snaps. Kyrie Jackson, did you see him come like a missile? And what was interesting about that play, he came in, blew up a play. He did that at the junior college level as well. His highlight tape, phenomenal. Big hitter. I mean, he's not the biggest guy. I don't even know if he's 200 pounds, but he can come in. He has a lot of velocity and really put it to an offensive player last night against Utah State. Henry Toto, 30 snaps. Jaheim Otis, who's just a freshman at Alabama, 29 snaps. Dallas Turner, 27 snaps. Light work for Dallas Turner. Jamil Burrows, 24 snaps. Kool-Aid, JaQuincy McKinstry, 23 snaps. Terran Arnold, 22. The star indicates if a player started last night against Utah State. And then Jalen Moody, 21 snaps by design. And then William Anderson, light work, only 20 snaps. What do you guys think about William Anderson's play last night? I mean, in those 20 snaps, it's really impressive just to see how dominating of a player that he is. Okay, let's look at some offensive snap counts. And the snap counts are important. If you're out there and you're like, what? Why is this important? You want to see which players are that Alabama is getting ready. And yes, in the background, I too am watching Florida State and LSU. So I'm not going to keep you too long tonight. I myself want to watch this game. Kendall Randolph, and again, far right, total number of snaps. Kendall Randolph playing at left tackle, 61 snaps. JC Latham, I think that's a reverse that they had it because Latham isn't playing guard. 56 snaps. Darian Dalcourt, 56 snaps. Tyler Steen. Yeah, see, these are all these positions are wrong right here. Pro Football Focus messed up on that. So Randolph was at guard, Latham was at tackle, Darian was at center, Tyler Steen was at tackle. So those are kind of the snap counts to the top right. And then you have Bryce Young, 52 snaps. I think he was 18 to 28. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but I believe that's what it was. Jermaine Burton, 49 snaps, Trayshawn Holden. I thought each of those wide receivers did a great job. Robbie Oots, 37 snaps. Now, it's important to note that it looks like Cam Latu will be ready for this next game against Texas. I think that's going to be an added bonus. I'm a big fan, to be honest, of Robbie Oots. I think he has a really nice game. Kobe Prentice, who is just a freshman, had 34 snaps. Jahmyr Gibbs, 33 snaps. Isaiah Bond, who's lightning in a bottle, 32. Javon Cohen, 28 snaps. Amelia Ekior, 28 snaps. Ja'Cory Brooks, 22. Tyler Booker, 20. Seth McLaughlin, 20. Jace McClellan and Damon George round out 20 on the bottom. Let me know where you guys are coming from inside the comment box. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight on Bama Insider Sunday night. It's a good night to recap the world of college football. I'll open up the call line in just a minute. I was looking for this photo. I guess I should have had you have it ready, Chris. Because I wanted to give out a game ball. It's not the best photo of Kobe Prentice, but Kobe Prentice, I'll see if I can find another. If you have another, Chris, throw in on top of it. But I thought the play of Kobe Prentice was really noteworthy, right? I mean, you come in as just a freshman. And I think that's the thing about Alabama. I think when people reverse recruit against Alabama and say, don't go to Alabama, it's because of the fact that you're not going to play as a freshman. By the way, if you're watching, hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And that's certainly not the case. I mean, I think, oh, I got it. Here's a better photo. There we go. And that's certainly not the case. I think when Alabama was looking at Kobe Prentice, they wanted him for that speed. And I think who knows where he was on the depth chart, because you have JoJo Earl, Aaron Anderson. And by the way, don't ask Coach about the depth chart, right? He was super pissed off last night. So that was the last depth chart we'd ever get. I thought that was awesome. It's probably the best clip so far. Saban already in midseason form. Thumbs up if you agree. But regarding Kobe Prentice, I thought it was really important. And I really liked the way that Bill O'Brien, OB, utilized Kobe Prentice and the speed. Did the same thing with Isaiah Bond later in the game. So I thought from an overall perspective, I thought that Kobe Prentice did a great job. And to be honest, this wide receiver room, I was really elated to see these guys in action. I think when you look to these wide receivers, people were questioning this wide receiver room. Wanted to see what was going on, but you see Bryce, you see Trayshawn Holden. And I mentioned this on my walk and talk, that these two were roommates at some point. So they have that cohesiveness, that continuity that you always love for wide receivers and quarterbacks to have. Let me know where you guys are coming from inside the comment box. I'll open up the call line. Chris, you could throw it on. I'll take some calls. I'm ready to go. And I'm feeling good. You know, as you look to this next week of the college football season, which teams do you think stood out? Were you shocked that Ohio State and Notre Dame was closer? I personally was. Because I wasn't watching the game, clearly, because I was watching the Alabama game. And then I Googled the score real quick, and I saw that Notre Dame was leading at halftime. I was pretty shocked. I mean, you look at all the weapons, everything that Ohio State returned. I mean, I kind of thought that was a team. But before Alabama played, I watched Georgia and Oregon. And I thought Georgia looked great, to be honest. And let me know if you think about the same thing. Do you feel that Georgia's offense is kind of getting away from that 3 yards in a cloud of dust? They were like, their offense was evolving. I thought that was good for them. So it's good to have better teams. SEC is undefeated yesterday, and I think they're undefeated overall. So when you look to kind of the talents of the SEC, I mean, no surprise. What's up, Kimberly? I see you inside the comment box. And by the way, before the show even started, we got a super chat from Danko. Can we pull that up, Chris? Yeah, so I appreciate it. Oh, there we go. Danko Hawkins. We appreciate you, man, with the super chat to lead off the show Sunday night. Call-in line is open. Minimize that, Chris, so we can now go to the call-in line. Thank you, Danko, again. 205-850-1994 is the call-in line. coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I was really excited to see Jace McClellan as well, because I think when you look to Jace and everything that he went through, this whole running back room, I mean, these guys almost had redemption. They had to prove that this was going to be the running back. A lot of these guys coming back from injuries: Jace, Roydell, Trey Sanders. Of course, Gibbs coming in as a transfer, and he's the number one guy. And I thought he certainly displayed his speed, power, agility last night. Almost broke a long run. But with Jace McClellan, I think any other program, if he's in any other organization around college football, Jace McClellan is the guy. Probably outside of Ohio State, I guess, because Trayvon Henderson's there. But Jace McClellan is that guy. So I love the combo, and I think that is going to be a really good tandem. I also liked what I saw from Boydell Williams. Trey Sanders got in there as well. Actually had the Najee style hurdle, and 505's inside. Says Jace is one of the best running backs in SEC, very underrated. I agree, 100%. 100%. Call-in line is open, 205-850-1994 is the call-in line. And we got our first call. We'll take it right now. Hey, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, it's Wesley from Kinston. I called in I told you I was going to call back in. Xavier only got two attempts to catch a pass, and he did not.
Yeah.
He did not do so.
Yeah. So when we kind of look to this game, Wes, and I appreciate you calling in once again, as you kind of turn the page to Alabama, Texas, what storylines are standing out to you when you look to the number one ranked Alabama Crimson Tide headed to Austin, Texas?
If our offensive line can show up against a Power 5 defense and give us a little bit more push, I'm not completely sold on our offensive line yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of a tough party because I just remember the days where we just grind people out for 15 play drives, and so I expect that when you talk about an Alabama football team. And I don't know. I thought we got better as the game went on, but our offensive line, and I know the Emil Ekiyor situation kind of threw it off maybe a little bit, but I think that we should have still been able to run the ball with ease. UConn ran the ball like butter through this defense, so I thought we were fixing to have a field day.
What did you think about? I talked about it a couple times, and let's kind of switch from the offense to the defensive side. And you do bring up some valid points about the offensive line, because I think they're still trying to mix and match, and we still don't know how good this Alabama offensive line unit is, and we probably won't for several more weeks. But when you look at the defense and some of the statistics they put up against, I get it, Utah State, but still collectively, anyone in college football, what was your takeaways from this defense? Seven first downs or whatever that they held Utah State to, pretty remarkable. 55-0, tough to do at any level.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I feel like our defense is going to be nasty. I feel like maybe we're still the only question mark that you could really say is how are we going to do against a quarterback that can really that has maybe he has time. I'm a guy that's pretty sold that a quarterback ain't gonna have much time no matter who we're playing, but our cornerbacks are probably the only question, just because of the mixed match, and nobody's made a solid point to be a starter yet. You know what I'm saying? That's the only question mark that you could have right now on our defense. Other than that, I think we could have a number one defense this year easily.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, William Anderson, I was kind of surprised when I looked at the stats and the snap counts that he only played 20 snaps, because it seemed like every single time he was in, he was so disruptive, right? I mean, he even had a couple tackles for loss. Jalen Moody, as we talked about going in, played in 55 games overall. It was his first start, actually led the team in tackles with 6. What do you think about the corner play? I know Utah wanted to stretch Alabama out. Alabama held them under 100 yards passing. Give me your take kind of on the secondary, specifically on the corners.
Yeah, I think that carry on. They picked on him the first drive a little bit when they got a little bit of they held the ball for just a minute on that first drive, and they did pick on him a little bit. But other than that, I thought our cornerback play was pretty solid. I don't remember any glaring instances where I was like, dang, they blew that.
Sure.
You know, I feel like we were there. Maybe we didn't make the play, but we were right there to make the play. And that's what you ask for when you're a cornerback. You know what I'm saying? You want to at least be in position.
Here with Wesley from Kinston, Alabama. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Call line is open 205-850-1994. All right, Wes, I'll give you one more shot at it. I'll give you some opportunities for some rat poison. The line on this game, I believe it is now 19.5. I think it opens up at 17.5. It's moving up a little bit. You think Alabama goes in and can cover this spread of nearly 3 touchdowns?
I think it's going to be a 24-point ball game.
Mm-hmm.
That's to be honest, I think that's safe. I think it could easily be a 35-point ball game, and that's based on the fact that their offensive line is probably their biggest suspect. And you can't really tell what they do when they UL Monroe, but I'm saying that our defense is about to have a heyday. I may be wrong, but I feel like Quinn Ewers is about to be on his back more than he's not Saturday.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, Wes. Calling again, please save the number. We appreciate you. Good caller. We save your number from 334. So definitely give us a call again on Wednesday night.
Yes, sir. Will do. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you, buddy. All right. Good stuff. Thanks, Wes, for leading off. Hey, Chris, I want to talk about some of this. We got another caller, but we'll go into start to look at Texas a little bit, kind of turn the page. The game notes will be released tomorrow. We'll post those on Bama Insider. Chris, I asked you before to bring up some of Texas's players. We can kind of spotlight. I want to talk about the running back specifically, Bijan Robinson, who's a very, very dangerous running back. When you talk about Henderson from Ohio State, you talk about Gibbs, you talk about Jace McClellan, Bijan Robinson certainly in that category. You look at what he brings to the table in terms of his overall size, what he's able to do with the football in hand. You look at kind of some of these preseason awards that he has. I think he is certainly going to be somebody that Steve Sarkisian tries to utilize and get the football to as many times as possible. You look at the Texas offense and how it operated against Louisiana Monroe, 10 carries, 71 yards with 1 touchdown, but I think he is certainly a game breaker. Kellen Robinson, who transferred from Alabama to Texas, also had a couple opportunities. We saw him in a couple different scenarios, but he had 1 carry for 7 yards. But I think all eyes are on Bijan Robinson. Chris, bring up the quarterback, Quinn Ewers. You think that kind of zoom in here and kind of like West Side, and we have some callers online. We'll jump to those in a minute. It's going to come down to the play of him. And I think he's going to be under so much pressure, and that's going to be the overall difference. I think there's going to be such a it's going to be such a struggle for Texas offensive line to stop Dallas Turner, William Anderson. You didn't see anything against Utah State. Nothing. I mean, William Anderson, that quick step that he has, he was in the backfield so many times. We'll take our next caller, and then we'll continue to talk about some of these top performers, top players from Texas. Good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Durrell from Detroit.
Hey, Durrell, what's up, man? Detroit?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. What's up, man? I appreciate you calling in from Detroit, man. How's it going for you tonight?
Oh, it's great, dog. Great. Now, first thing is I want to acknowledge that I know it's the first game.
Yeah.
So a lot of the analysts is like, it's first game. There's not a lot to judge by. But at the same time, the metric is to get better every week and not get worse. So one of the things that I noticed that I think is just going to put the team over the top this year is the rotation and interior defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Bogby, Brian Ray, Tim Allen, Tim Keenan, Jaheim Otis, who got in and plugged a lot of holes last night. Jamil Burrows, those guys are going to be amazing. And the fact that they're going to just get better as the season goes on, and we're going to have this rotation to plug up the middle, besides having Dallas Turner and Will Anderson on the outside to contain the edge, is going to be amazing. I think we're really going to see it when we play Texas, because they're going to try to start off with Bijan Robinson to have a good run and play and run game. But I believe we're going to shut it completely down. Tyrion Arnold looked good at corner, but I believe being that was his first real game experience, like you said, they picked on him a little bit. But between Kool-Aid and Kyrie Jackson, I don't see how you're going to get those guys off the field just with coverage skills and tackling. Kyrie is a long, lanky, quick twitch guy. You see he was fierce in tackling last night, just tenacious. And it's the mentality of the whole defense. Like you can see it out there. Everybody's excited. There are 12 men to the ball. It's a different mentality. And I know, like I said, I know it's the first game, but you can just see it where as the season goes on, that we can't do anything but get better. And it's going to be amazing. That's just from the defensive side. Now, for the offensive line, I think they look great. Taylor Steen and Latham held down those edges a lot better than what we saw even in the first game last year. My only issue was Kendall Randolph with the switching of sides. I think Cohen and Ikior are great for the guards. I think they'd be great. Now, give Kendall Randolph some play, get him some clock, so if he has to come in, he could be a plug-and-play guy. But I think we should just go with that 5 for Texas with Ikior and Cohen, because the run game could have looked better, and I think if we had just more of a consistency with all 5 guys on the field at one time, it's going to be amazing, because Jahmyr Gibbs made these subtle cuts in the hole. I don't think everybody paid attention. They was looking for splash plays sometimes. But the way that he would find daylight out of nowhere just to get those extra couple yards, it's like if you give him consistent road grading, cornbread, and them type blockings from back in the day, it's we have no ceiling essentially this year. It's no ceiling, because we don't even have to talk about Bryce Young and the receivers and the depth at receiver, because what do we have? Texas next, Louisiana Monroe, before we really get into the meat of the schedule. So by the 4th game, just imagine where we'll be at by the 4th game if the progress stays consistent every week.
Really good call. We're on with Durrell from Detroit. Appreciate you calling up from the Detroit area, talking about Alabama. And I think I want to hit on a couple points that you hit on. Thank you very much. First of all, not only for the call, but for bringing up this name, Justin Ebogbe. We have not talked enough about Justin Ebogbe. You're talking about a grown man in the middle of the field with so much power and athleticism, super underrated player, I think, in my opinion. And then you add up and you load up on the big boys that are going to stuff the middle. Jaheim Otis, Jamil Burroughs. Those guys are going to plug the middle of the fields. And I love overall just the rotation that Alabama is going to be able to have within the defensive front. I think it allows for Coach Roach to have a lot of different formations depending on down and distance. And that's why you can't get so worked up about the depth chart, right? Is because you have so many guys to rotate. It doesn't matter. Like a formation doesn't determine the depth chart. You have really different depth charts and different units for different situations. Am I right? Right. So
for different scenarios. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So people are like, so this isn't high school football. You don't just have 11 good guys. Like these are future guys who are going to play on Sunday. So that's what I'm saying. So it's like you don't have to just worry about 11 guys. To your point, I think the offensive line, I agree with your assessment. And I think that the running game could have looked better, in my opinion. There was, I think they have to gel a little bit, and they're trying to figure out what is going to work best. And I think when Emil Eaker comes in, but I'm with you. I did notice that J.C. Latham, he was tough to get around. I'm really excited about J.C. Latham.
That's what I love.
Yes,
he was attacking.
He was.
And when they came to him in the pass rush, he brought it to him. He didn't just widen out. And no disrespect to Chris Owens, but Chris Owens just widened out last year and let the pass rush to him and then tried to defend. No, Latham, soon as you approached his wingspan, he was on you. That was it. He was engaged, and you weren't going anywhere. That was it. I loved it.
And I think that there was a couple times, look, say what you want about Darian Dalcourt. I saw him in there. He had a couple pancakes. He really did. Like he was in there. He was doing his thing. So, hey, Durrell, save the number. Call in anytime. I appreciate your feedback. Really good call. Batting number 2 on the show. You call in from Detroit. I love your feedback. I watched Michigan as well against Colorado State. It's kind of we'll see what the Wolverines can do. But call in anytime, 205.
Those are my brothers and nephews that's over with the Wolverines. No disrespect, go blue to those guys.
Yeah.
But down here where I'm at, it's all road tide all day. So you can expect to hear from me every week just about.
All right, Durrell, hit me up again. I appreciate you calling in.
Of course, man. Great job, you guys. Y'all, I love the show. Everything you're doing. I'm subscribed to YouTube. Just keep bringing in the material. I'm going to keep liking, subscribing, and just putting the word out there. Roll Tide.
All right, roll tide to you, man. All right, that is Durrell from Detroit. I love it. Callers from all over. It was crazy. I'm still waiting for Jerrick from Buffalo. Paging Jerrick from Buffalo. Where you at? Because we have like this little community up in New York that calls in. It was crazy when Tua was the quarterback from Hawaii. I had to start putting the show in the evening time because I was having the show too early and everyone from Hawaii was asleep, right? Because remember when I first started this, what was it, like 4 or 5 years ago? I was doing the show in the morning and then my Hawaiian followers were like, "Hey, we can't watch the show." Hey, Chase, what's up? I see you. Yeah, Beard Gang. Yeah, Beard life is real life, right? I appreciate you in the comment box. We continue with our next caller. We'll take the 334 starting now. Hey, good evening. You're on the line.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up? You're on the line. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Jeff from Alabama. Selma.
Jeff, what's up, man? How you doing?
Nothing. Just watching LSU and FSU right now.
Hey, if someone wants to take the lead and put some score updates. Oh, Cindy, you got it. Thank you. 3-0.
I got it.
LSU.
3-0 right now.
Leading Florida State. Hey, okay, this is good for Florida State. Best case scenario. Jeff, what's on your mind? Give me a quick recap of Alabama, Utah State, what you liked, and then let's kind of dive into this next game against the Texas Longhorns.
I like the offensive line has improved a lot. As Durrell was saying, J.C. Latham really clogged that hole up pretty good. As far as running, we didn't need to run. Bryce was running. What do you have? 100 yards?
Man, he was jogging. Yeah, he was jogging on him.
Jermaine Burton, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
I know it was the first game of the year. I know it was Utah State, but to shut them out, what's the only two teams that did that? Was Texas A&M 31-0.
I think
that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something like that. But but to your point, Bryce Young was literally jogging out there, had 107 yards, thank High Power TV for the stats. And then it was Jahmyr Gibbs who had 93 or something. So, they didn't really have to even really press on it. So the official stats are Bryce 107, Jahmyr Gibbs with 93. Jamarion Miller had 36. Let's not forget about him. Jace had 25, and then Roydell with 15.
That was, and it's just gonna keep getting better and better as the weeks go along, man. That's why you practice. People don't understand that. That's why you go out there and hit the pads and hit the balls and everything, and do your hands up tied up so you can hold on to the ball better and everything. That's why you practice. That's why you do all that. I don't know, but people don't understand that. It's just basic things, right?
So was there? So give a game ball. I don't give it to. Bryce had 6 touchdowns. You don't have to give it to Bryce. Was there any other player, offense or defense, kind of a lesser known player that impressed you when watching this game?
Kobe.
Yep.
Kobe's got some juice in him. He's ready to go. You give him some more practice time, he'll be breaking lines open. Speaking of that offensive line, like I said, it's much improved. So that's pretty much. Going on to Texas, I don't see no hope for Texas. I know they got B.J. Robinson. I understand that, but it's like they only got one running back. What you got? Oh, they got one. We got 5. You only got one. He goes down. What they gonna do?
I guess go to Killen Robinson, who transferred out from here to there, right?
I guess, but don't sound like they're even talking about him. Is he even in the rotation?
No, I think he got one carry for 7 yards against Louisiana Monroe, but I mean, we're not going to get to see Billings. We're not going to get to see Billingsley. He's suspended for 6 games. Ajay Hall, I don't think he's in the mix. Xavier Williams. I mean, look at all the transfers, right? Steve Sarkisian, Jeff Banks, Kyle Flood, Ajay Hall, Killen Robinson, Xavier Williams. Remember Ben Davis? Ben Davis even transferred. Now he's not playing anymore, but he transferred over there yesterday or last year. Yesterday. What else is on your mind, Jeff?
Texas. I got final thoughts on Texas. It's going to be a heavy dose with the run. Throw it in with the throw with Bryce with them throwing, and I mean you might see the magic feet again. You never know. It's like you said, it depends on if the defense gives me something, then I'm going to take it. So that's just pretty much how it's going to be with Alabama. They're going to get better and better as they go along, though. Every week, practice. Right. I remember how Saban was talking about how, what he said about the depth chart. He said I'm not going to say it again. I thought that was funny. So,
man, he was like a midseason form. I love it. Anything else, Jeff? Give me a Roll Tide, man.
Oh, Roll Tide, and I'm just happy football's back. Like I said, I'm watching this FSU game right now. So.
Yeah, me too, man. They're showing a Pizza Hut commercial where I'm at, and I'm about to dive into some pizza. It looks good. All right, man. Well, Jeff, call in anytime, man. We appreciate you calling in with the feedback, and we'll catch up with you Wednesday night. Sounds good?
Oh, yeah, Wednesday. Always. All right, brother.
All right,
I'll let you then. Roll Tide and take it easy. And come on, Texas. We're ready for you. Let's you ain't ready for us. So like I said, Roll Tide.
All right, Roll Tide. Jeff, our good buddy out in Selma, Alabama. Man, Chris, I see you in the background. Look, you got a cat. Okay, cat life. Okay, never had a cat. All right, fam. Kyle Henderson, Bama Insider, 205-850-1994 is the call-in line. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, following Alabama's 55-0 victory over Utah State Aggies. I'm sure you're watching this FSU game. FSU just took the lead over LSU 7-3. Game is actually being played in New Orleans. They scored off a flea flicker, right? Remember, I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember this, but back in 1994, they had Tecmo Bowl. And if you played the Giants had a flea flicker that, if you guessed it, it was an automatic fumble. Chris is nodding his head like he understands. No, he has no idea. Okay. Alabama, Texas, get it going this Saturday. Austin, Texas. Hey, Chris, I want to talk about number 0 real quick before I take our next call from Texas on the offensive side. He's a tight end, Sanders. I watched Texas against Louisiana Monroe. This guy could be a problem. If Ewers has to get the ball out, this guy is very, very talented, ultra talented, in my opinion. I think he's one of the better tight ends probably in college football, has a lot of athleticism. When you look to what Sanders did last game, he was targeted a ton, and he had 6 receptions for 85 yards, including a touchdown. And I think since Alabama certainly the part of the game is going to put heat on Ewers, right? I think you're going to get the ball out to Sanders. So you look to who is going to be matching up with him. If Alabama's in a star formation or whatever, you have Brian Branch or Malachi Moore, but look at that size, 6'4", 242 pounds. This guy is ultra talented. I think one of the real weapons for Texas, along with Bijan Robinson. So I think those two guys certainly coming with it. We'll take our next caller. We'll go to Jerrick up in Buffalo. Jerrick, what's up, man?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on, man? Just enjoying a little bit of football on this beautiful Sunday evening.
Man, Jerrick, it's been too long, man. Where you been?
Man, I've been chilling, man. For the most part, I've been chilling. I've been doing my own work, trying to cover some Buffalo sports and these Bills over here, man. Trying to get ready for the season, man. So I've been a little busy.
Bills, how's the Bills Mafia looking?
They look really, really good. We got LA Thursday.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we're gonna win that game because I don't think we got anybody in our team right now that can cover Cooper Kupp and obviously Allen Robinson, that team, and I feel like Super Bowl High is going to carry them over to the W. I think it's going to be a great game, more of a shootout, but I wish we had Trey White for that game. But, it is what it is. I think we'll be all right for the rest of the year, and hopefully we can get our first Super Bowl because I've never experienced it.
Jerrick, let's look at this game against Texas. But before we do that, your takeaways from Alabama, Utah State. What stood out? What'd you think? Give me kind of the best and maybe, not so much the worst, but what are you taking away from this game?
It was exactly what I expected it to be. Alabama just went out there and they, for the most part, they just took care of business. One of the things I wanted to see from this Bama team was kind of the offensive line. I think every Bama fan wanted to see that because that was the biggest hole. That was the biggest weakness of the team. It was our offensive line. There was a lot of uncertainty of certain positions last year. We had to move Chris Owens out to tackle because we just didn't really have the depth to play a tackle a little bit there. But we had some question marks going into this. Obviously Javon Cohen and everything he's kind of going through, and obviously Kendall Randolph has got to take that spot at left guard. And normally, he's more of a goal line package tight end, more of a depth piece. So we had to kind of place him there. And you saw a little bit with the offensive line. You saw a little bit with the offensive line struggling. If no one watched the game, if you take a look at the stats of the 273 yards, you're like, okay, yeah, Alabama just ran over Utah State. But if you watch a little bit of that game, for the most part, they were killing Alabama a little bit on the inside stunts. And, So you can tell that some of the continuity earlier on in the game, throughout the game, was a little missing. We did lose on some of our one-on-one gaps, mostly with Kendall Randolph's side. So, we got some work to do. I feel like we got some work to do. For the most part, Jahmyr Gibbs had a really good game. There were some positives because those 273 yards did come from somewhere besides obviously Bryce with 100 yards. But I liked what I saw from Gibbs. I liked what I saw from really a lot of our young guys, particularly at the receiving position. Kobe Prentice, I thought, had an outstanding game as a freshman. Isaiah Bond I thought he was also really good as well. Really impressed with his speed. Kind of sucked that we had a block in the back during his long run.
Yeah.
Definitely could have added lots to the stat sheet, but I was impressed. Kendrick Law took a massive hit with his ability to catch the ball in traffic. I felt like the Milroe kind of led that pass a little bit too further, but Law showing his toughness. I was more impressed with the young guys on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball more than I was with the entire starting group. Not to say they did bad or anything like that, but last year we didn't really get the opportunity to see a lot of our youngsters play because we were in so many close, tight games. Right, a lot of the games that we for the most part, you're expected to see them kind of blow out. That just didn't really happen. I've always said this, Kyle, that you could legit make an argument Bama could have won 8-4. Because we were in so many close, tight games, and we were in such trouble, and we were bailed out either by our defense or Bryce Young had to come to the rescue or something else happened that would literally get us to win these games that you're kind of scratching your head and wondering, like, how do we do it? How do we even get to this point? So it's glad to see that a lot of our young guys got the opportunity to play. Jalen Milroe got out there into play, and I think every Bama fan was hyped on Jalen Milroe during the spring game. But then we came in the fall game, and you say, okay, you know what, he's got some work to do. The same thing I think with Ty Simpson, even though it's from a limited role. But I'm glad that we saw a lot of our young players, Jaheim Holtz of the world, a lot of this freshman class, a lot of guys from last year that didn't get the opportunity to play, so that these guys can have some valuable experience. And just in case if somebody goes down, these guys can step in right away and take over like nothing ever happened.
On with Jerrick from Buffalo. I appreciate it, man. It's always good to rap with you, Jerrick. What's up, Jonathan? I see you inside the comment box, man. Thank you for asking. I'm doing really well. Had a beautiful Sunday. I actually got mom in town, so grandkids, and grandma, they're always hanging out, having a good time. Hey, Jerrick, let's kind of turn the page. Alabama, Texas, line 19.5. Texas is excited to host Alabama, clearly. And I think that this is such a monumental game if you're a Longhorn fans. You want to see where you really stand. Second year under Steve Sarkisian. You look at all the components that Texas has. I think there are some really good, pieces on the offensive side. I'm curious to see how they match up with Alabama from offensive and defensive standpoint, especially with Dallas Turner, William Anderson coming off the edge. I think that's probably one of the bigger storylines we'll focus on. When you talk Texas, Alabama, what stands out to you? Give me your take on the game.
I can't wait to look at the skill position players, right? I can't wait to watch Texas skill position players, mainly at the receiving position, running back, versus our linebacking core and our secondary. I think that is going to be a very fun matchup to watch because, yesterday we didn't really get to see it a lot, but we didn't see our secondary really get tested. I mean, their quarterback for the most part was always constantly pressured by our defensive line, whether it was our first group or our second group. I mean, it was just constant pressure. So we didn't really get to see an opportunity to see a lot of these guys tested. So I would not be surprised at all that if we start off next week with co-starters again with Terry and Arnold and Tyree Jackson and Eli Ricks and a lot of these guys getting mixed in, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we did it because it's just not that much film to really evaluate yourself. And now with this particular matchup, you have competition. Xavier Worthy is that dude. I mean, if Xavier Worthy easily could have been at least a 1,200 to 1,300 yard receiver, man. I mean, that kid had horrible quarterback play going his way to a point where I just a lot of those missed balls. Xavier Worthy, to put it quite simply, is one of the best deep ball receivers in all of college football, and that kid's going to be a first-round pick. So that's going to be exciting to see him going potentially maybe against Terry and Arnold, maybe Tyree Jackson, just really depending on what the matchup and the lineup, how everything else is going to go. That's going to be fun. Jatavion Sanders, one of those athletic key tight ends. We've had trouble with that last year, right? The Jalen Whittemeyers, the Brock Bowers of the world, like those type of tight ends. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, especially if they're going up the middle against guys like Jalen Moody, or if Malachi Moore is going to line them up in single man-to-man coverage over there. Like that's going to be interesting to watch what Jatavion Sanders has the ability to do because he's an athlete, right? Coming out of Ryan Denton, which is an incredible high school, incredible place. Yep. But the most important factor of this game is going to be with Bijan Robinson, right? His ability in the open field. Now, again, the great thing for Bama, you're going against Jahmyr Gibbs every single day in open practice. Yeah. But Bijan is a bigger version of Jahmyr. He's a much bigger version than Jahmyr. So, this kid is flashy. This kid's extremely tough to bring down in the open field. And he's used to it. He's used to getting the heavy load, whether it's in the running game or the receiving game. So that's going to be phenomenal. But Quinn Ewers, he has, incredible arm talent, extremely young. But I can't wait to see what he can do against our defense because that is going to be the ultimate test. But, Texas has their own faults as well. Their offensive line is extremely young. For the most part, it's guys that really didn't get that much experience, or maybe some guys out there that are just trying to, they're just trying to prove themselves. But obviously losing guys like, I believe Kelvin Banks is out. Could be wrong about that. I do know Junior is out for the rest of the year. That's their best offensive lineman in the interior. But their defense, for the most part, biggest question mark of the entire day. What can they do against their offense? They're extremely young. They got some guys out there that Texas fans are excited for, mainly guys like Byron Murphy in the interior. Their secondary, with Watts, Demarion Overshawn at that weak side linebacker position. They got players there that Texas fans are extremely excited to see. And it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a very, very fun matchup overall. But I'm really hoping for Alabama, that we can really take control of the passing attack. Because I do believe Texas will have one of the best passing attacks in all of college football. It sucks that Isaiah Nair is out for the rest of the year, because I definitely feel like you could have added in a little bit more into the excitement. But I can't wait for it overall, Kyle.
Hey, well, I appreciate it, Jerrick. Thank you so much for calling in. Good luck to the Bills on Thursday. We appreciate you. Thanks for calling in from Buffalo. Call in again on Wednesday or whenever you can next Sunday, whatever, man. We always got a spot here, Jerrick.
Oh, absolutely, man. Good luck to your 49ers, brother.
All right, man. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Jerrick, we're family on here, man. People know that I am a 49ers fan. So let's see how it turns out. I like them during the preseason a little bit. So Raider fan asks, Kyle, that's wine. Kyle, is Latu going to be able to play this week? It looks like it. I think he could have played a little bit, possibly even this past week. And so I think, having Latu in the lineup is going to be great for Alabama. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes against Texas. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. If you can hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Been getting some really good feedback on the videos that we've been posting on our YouTube channel. It goes a long way. Just a thumbs up, a super chat. If you want to become a member of our show, hit the join button under this video. We appreciate you guys. And of course, all the coverage back at Bama Insider, Clint Lamb, Andrew Bone, Joseph Hastings, Jimmy Stein. Those guys do a tremendous job. Of course, now part of On 3. So go check out all the coverage calling all Alabama Crimson Tide football fans. Alabama takes on Texas this weekend, Austin, Texas. If you've ever been to Austin, fun place, 6th Street. You can have a lot of fun down there. So if you're going to the game, I hope you have a fantastic time. We'll take our next caller, and we'll start now. Hey, thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, it's Demetrius from North Carolina. I finally done got my head out the sand from that national championship game.
Demetrius, I was wondering where you've been. Seriously, I'm like, I'm like, okay, I know Demetrius drives trucks, and I know he's going across the country, but like, I was like, come on, Demetrius, hit me up, man. I was about to text you and say call in.
I'm sorry. I'm still shell shocked from national championship game. But the Empire gonna strike back. The Empire is gonna strike back. That's what I've been telling everybody. And I see, I'm from what I see compared to last year. I mean, them young men had the eye of the tiger. They want it. This ain't no. I mean, you can always improve offensive line, but hey, I named one game other than the SEC championship that our offensive line played good last year. They played even better than that in the first game of this year. And they just gonna continue to build on that. And I'm just amazed at all the the non-drop passes like we did play this last year. I mean, that's what kept us from a national championship, and that's what kept us from blowing out teams last year. Possessions, and you didn't see that. And I don't know what the coaching staff and got to hold these young players. And hey, they hungry, they want it. I watched college football all Saturday. I didn't see that from nobody.
What about from Georgia? What about from Georgia?
That's why my comment. I seen a bunch of overrated teams that shouldn't be ranked as high as they should. I mean, come on now. You got Bo Nix as your starting quarterback. You still living on that one game he had against Alabama when they won? Come on, man. I mean, I never called a young man a bum or nothing like that, but he's very, Bo Nix is not, he's a third string quarterback. I'm sorry.
Don't call him a bum. Maybe, okay, third string
quarterback. I'm not going to call him. I'm just saying he's a third string quarterback just living off the name of, and he just fell into the right position at the right time.
He played the game of the millennium against Alabama, just like every quarterback does. By the way, Florida State 7, LSU 3. Florida State just blocked a field goal, 5:43 in the game, in before halftime. Brian Kelly, not on the ropes, but Florida State leading 7-3. Go ahead, Demetrius. Go ahead.
Oh, speaking on that, like I've been been driving all over the country, Hey, name one other team, school that can take the adversity, coaches leaving, players leaving. Look at all the problems. Look at all the problem young men that we got rid of.
Yeah.
That you see the results, and that spread that I don't care attitude it spread in the locker room last year. Trust me, I played football. You ain't gonna tell me one person coming that can cause all kind of chaos. And them problems they done got rectified, they done moved on. I wish the best for them. And, it's gonna be very interesting to see the rest of this year. But I seen, the top tier teams play and the caliber of teams they played against, and they're probably gonna strike back.
All right, well, Demetrius, call again. I appreciate you calling in, man. Be safe on the road. Your family, man. So call in anytime. All right, Demetrius.
All right. You have a good one, Kyle. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you, buddy. All right, that's our good friend Demetrius. He says he's from North Carolina, but he drives trucks, so he's like all over the country. Hey, the show, you're back. We appreciate you. Drama Week, yeah. Get locked in. Alabama and Texas. Tomorrow we'll have Nick Saban's press conference, 12 p.m. We'll cover that right here on Bama Insider. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Insider. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. We'll take a couple more calls before we round it out. Get you to halftime of that LSU and FSU game. FSU leads LSU right now 7-3. We'll take our next caller. We got a 251 coming in right now. I appreciate your patience. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, it's Robert from Mobile.
Hey, what's up, Robert? Good evening. I appreciate you being patient. How's your Sunday, Robert?
Hey, just watching this LSU game. Yeah, it looks like Chip Kelly's going to be in a long season. If his quarterback lasts, he's running them awful lot for his first game of the year. And he's taking a lot of hits already. Now, you got SEC schedule to go through, buddy. You don't want to run your quarterback this much. That's your game plan, running your quarterback. But okay, whatever.
I think when you look at this Brian Kelly LSU experiment, I mean, look, I know it's like super early. Look, this game's a half. LSU probably comes back and wins this somehow, whatever. It was just kind of a strange hire, in my opinion. Look, I have nothing against Brian Kelly. I have no dog in the fight, whatever. It's just like, I mean, it sounded strange, like the fake accent and all, like following this. So I'm kind of like have my popcorn. I'm like eating it. I'm looking forward to going down to Baton Rouge and checking out the game, and we'll see how LSU continues to build up. But I get what you're saying. So anyways, go ahead, Robert. You're the one who called it. Go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. It's, I mean, right now it looks like more of the same, but I guess we'll see as the season goes on. The only thing that disappointed me a bit about the game was the not being able to run the ball effectively in the red zone.
Yeah.
Although I'm kind of wondering, I think Bill O'Brien seems to be not as committed to it as we would like him to be, especially when he gets down to the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, run the ball. No, and Jahmyr Gibbs, he's definitely the real deal. I mean, the guy has the skills are there, and he's bringing them to Tuscaloosa. Let him use his skills. And the line didn't quite block, push them around as much as I would have liked to see them push this team around for running.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the red zone. I wanted to see half that team in the end zone, and I run it back practically walking into the end zone. And I didn't quite see that. I was actually at the game. I went to the game. The crowd was great. I can't believe it was this big a crowd for Alabama and Utah State. That shows how hungry everybody was for the football, especially the first game of the season in Tuscaloosa. But yeah, it was just the running game was just a little more, and the line was a little more, just shoving this team left back and forth all game long. That would have been good to see. Bryce is definitely, he's the guy just showing himself he's lost nothing to start in the off season. If anything, like he's trying to, I guess he's trying to show off the Jets and the athleticism for the next level. So maybe this will be more of a sign of things to come. Hey, I got to show some athleticism off for the NFL. So here it is on parade for the NFL scouts to see. So to me, he's just outstanding in the game. Trayshawn Holden, he looked like he's taking that next level step. Yeah. I didn't see him drop a ball, and the ones that he didn't complete, the ones in the corner end zone, he caught it. It was just one half foot out of bounds.
Yeah.
But he caught everything.
Yeah.
And a couple times he was wide. He was open and Bryce missed him.
Someone mentioned that inside the comment box. What do you think about this, Robert, that the deep ball seemed to be off? Would you say that is accurate?
It started off like last season. It started off a little early on, like even last season. And just getting the feel for, what these players are, and getting the feel for their speed and what they do. And there's just nowhere around, you only get that with playing with them in live games and, getting reps. Because when the ammo's live, that's when you really know what the guys are going to do.
Yeah.
And right now his receivers are showing themselves to be, hey, we're ready to catch these balls now, right? We know we let you down in the past, but we're ready to catch them now. They didn't drop. I didn't see very many drops at all. Like I said, if anything, it was just, the pass was off from Bryce a little. But I did not see the receivers drop much. That's fantastic.
Robert, what did you think of the play of Jalen Milroe and the time and the opportunities that he had?
Again, it shows he had that he didn't a little some rust. There's some ability there, so there's still ability there, but it has to be developed.
Yeah.
But again, I think about Mac Jones when he's his first time out. Hey, did we know he turned into Mac? He didn't look like he would turn into the phenom later.
Well, hold on,
even
Robert.
Bryce Young.
Robert, you hit on such a great point, because remember when Mac Jones got in and we had these call-in shows or whatever, the message boards, people were like, man, I hope someone comes in and takes over, because there's no way we want Mac Jones to be the quarterback. Remember? And everyone was actually calling for Bryce to start over for Mac Jones that year. And people were like, oh, he's not it. And then Mac Jones goes and reels off, one of the most incredible seasons. His efficiency was remarkable. Anyways, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And even Bryce, when he was coming from that, because the way Alabama was doing things, they let the guys come in so late and they get so few reps. You weren't as confident in them as you would have liked to have been. Then Bryce turns out the next year to be becoming the Heisman Trophy winner. So we definitely can't judge, especially at Alabama, by coming off the bench cold first season. No, you give these guys a little time to season. He might be an NFL talent, when he actually starts, like the other two guys were. But so overall it was pretty efficient. They were a little vanilla, trying not to show Texas anything, because they knew they could do anything they wanted to Utah State if they really, really wanted to. Maybe that's what they're showing. They want Utah show Texas the blocking schemes for the running game. That could be the case as well, because they can block him to do whatever they want to this team if they really wanted to. But this next game is the game, because it's going to be in a hostile environment. If they destroy Texas pretty much the same way they destroyed Utah State, okay, then everybody should be officially scared. I have to admit, though, Georgia did look good. Once again, it looks like Alabama, Georgia, and everybody else. That's how it looks like the season's already it's starting out to look. Because Ohio State, I realize Notre Dame may have overachieved, but wow, Notre Dame really handled them, for 3 quarters. Like if you were playing Alabama or Georgia, you would have gotten destroyed that night. Ohio State, maybe attitude would have been different against Alabama and or Georgia, but don't want to play them the way you played Notre Dame. So right now, once again, it's Alabama, Georgia, and everybody else. And Stetson Bennett, dang, the guy might have actually improved, which is a scary thought.
Yeah, no,
so
I think he did.
I think these.
Yeah. 100% he did. And some of those little receivers he did. I said this at the beginning of the show. I was watching Georgia and I was like, oh, wow, they're better. Their offense is evolving. They're not just like hand the ball off to McIntosh and these big running backs. They're actually throwing the football. They're getting creative with screens. They got the ball to that little wide receiver that they have who is really good. They got the tight end, Brock Bowers. I'm telling you, like their defense, they were good too. I get it. Bo Nix, whatever, they're shooting quarterback. It doesn't matter. Like overall, collectively, they're good. And we just have to accept that. We knew that coming in. All right, Robert, make your last point, man.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely right. That's what I saw. And, the two best teams are definitely Alabama and Georgia, with, Ohio State playing a distant third. And but, yeah, that's how the season is going to break down. So next week we'll see what they do against Texas. And then I think next week is when the season really starts for us. It's when they really have to bear down and play. Oh, I forgot about defense real quick. Defense was as good as advertised. They were great on the eye test. If they did to Utah State what I expected them to. That team shouldn't score, and they didn't score. Texas, I'm looking to not get more than 10 points at the most for Texas. So that's what I'm looking for next weekend. All right, man. Great talking with you.
All right. Take it easy, Robert. All right. Robert from Mobile, Alabama. We'll take just a couple more calls and then we'll go back to this game. It's almost halftime. I want to eat some food as well. I want to watch this game. So we'll take the 631. We're going to jump right to the call. So when I get you on, make your point. I'll hit you back and we'll get it going forward. Here we go. 631, you're up. Hey, what's up? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Mike from Atlanta.
Mike, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. We're 1-0. What could be better?
Right? Hey, Mike, let's get into it, man. I need some food, and I want to watch the rest of this game, so give me your take from last night.
I mean, what else could you want? I mean, we got healthy, left the game good. I don't think we really showed too much. I think we didn't really get into too many wrinkles of the offense or the defense or any sub packages. I think we're just good saving it for Texas next week. Obviously, I want to see the offensive line play a little bit better. And I think it will come with time. I think it who you are in the first game of the season isn't who you're going to be the rest of the season, and we will improve. So it was a little concerning that UConn had more success running the ball against Utah State than we did. But again, I think we were pretty conservative once the game was kind of out of reach, and we probably didn't do as much as we probably could have, just given that the game was pretty much over as soon as it started.
Mike, was there any player game balls that you give out to? I mean, I know Bryce. I keep asking people this. I know Bryce scored 6 touchdowns. I mean, William Anderson was in the backfield several times. Jalen Moody led the team in tackles 6. Was there anything else that kind of like anyone who kind of jumped off the radar that was glaring to you from Alabama's team?
I was really impressed with Kobe Prentice.
Yeah.
It's been a while since, I'd say probably since Jalen Waddle in 2018, where we've had a freshman wide receiver step in and just immediately make an impact with the first rotation. Obviously, we had that great group in 2017 with Smith, Judy, and Ruggs, but Prentice looked really good. So I'm excited to see how he does the rest of the season. I'd love to see Ja'Cory Brooks get a little bit more involved. He didn't really stand out that much yesterday, which was a little bit surprising. But again, I think we are in a much better position this year in the wide receiver room, despite losing JMO and Mechie, because I don't think we have to be as reliant on just them two. I think we got a lot of dudes this year that can play. And I mean, I think it was 8 different players yesterday got a reception from Bryce.
Yeah, it was a ton. Yeah.
But definitely impressed with Prentice.
All right, Mike, nothing personal, man. I'm trying to fly through this, the last remaining parts of the show to get everybody to this LSU Florida State game, but call in again, save your number, call this number. We'll get you in next time. We have another call-in show on Wednesday night following Nick Saban's press conference. Got a deal?
Yep, sounds good, man. Roll Tide.
All right, roll Tide to you, man. Mike out in Atlanta making some really good points. Appreciate you calling in. 615, get ready. You're up on deck starting now. Hey, what's up? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Kyle, hey, what's going on, man? This is David from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh man, David, what's up, man? I've been going up to Nashville recently. That's where On 3 is located, up in Brentwood. So I've been.
I live like 15 minutes down the road from where I know where it is.
Yeah. So it's great, man. I mean, I love going up there. I love the nightlife. I love the good food. Brentwood, met some really good people up there. And of course, now working with On 3, all the developmental stuff that we've had with On 3 has been great. So take it away, man. Let's see what you got, David.
Yeah, man, Nashville's awesome. Hey, real quick, my audio was cutting out earlier. Did I hear you make a Tecmo Bowl reference in the show earlier?
Yes. Do you know what Tecmo Bowl is? Please say you do.
Dude, are you kidding me? Tecmo Bowl is like the greatest game of all.
Thank you. Like we can't. So
you made a Tecmo Bowl. I was like, did I just hear that? But my audio cut out, and I was like, please tell me I just heard him make a Tecmo Bowl.
If you're younger out there, look up Tecmo Bowl. Don't let Tecmo Bowl die. Like we gotta keep Tecmo Bowl alive. So
no, was bad. Did you ever play? If you had Singletary, that was it. It was game over.
You could go right around the guard. You could go right around the guard and stop the quarterback, right?
Just ball immediately dislodged from whoever had it.
But you get what I'm saying, right? Because the Giants had that flea flicker package. It was Dave Meggett, and he had pitched back to Sims.
That was the best.
Yeah.
Well, that was what was great about Tecmo Bowl. It was like it like physics did not apply to Tecmo Bowl. You
could throw the ball 80 yards down the field, but whatever. Tecmo Bowl is the realest. Okay, yeah. So we talked Tecmo Bowl. So, your takeaways from last night, or talking about this game coming up.
Yeah, just real quick. I just said, because I know I'm actually waiting to eat too, so you and I are in the same boat. But I was just going to say, I know that on paper, Texas A&M last year, at least according to star ratings or whatever, I know that on paper, Texas A&M had the number 1 class last year. But it's starting to look, at least the early results are starting to look like Alabama may have been the team that just loaded up last year. This freshman class, is it just me, or I'm starting to think we hit pay dirt last year. We may have had I guess, what did we end up with, number 2 or number 3 recruiting class?
It doesn't matter. These dudes are unstoppable.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, the result on the field, I think when all is said and done, we're going to realize just how good this class actually was.
Yeah, Kobe Prentice. I mean, we're leaving him up on the screen. I mean, it's really incredible. And the thing about Kobe Prentice is I think he was probably like 3rd in the depth chart because you had JoJo Earl and then you had Aaron Anderson, who people were talking about, and then Kobe Prentice stands up at the right time, right?
Oh yeah, totally. And I didn't hear correctly, because he was originally committed to like Maryland, and he was like a 0 star. Like nobody had rated him. He was not, and then Alabama took one look at him, which goes to show just how good they are at evaluating talent. They were like, oh no, this guy's definitely staying here. Which you got to feel for Maryland. They're like, oh, we got him. And then they're like, nope, psych. But yeah, not to mention the fact that Aaron Anderson is not even in the mix right now because he's hurt. I thought Isaiah Bond, just in the 2 seconds, that you got to see him. Kendrick Law there's all these guys, even Jamarian Miller, if I'm not mistaken, towards the end of the game, he looked pretty good, right? It was just, and that's just on the offensive side. But I'm saying these guys have skills.
Yeah, me too, man. I completely agree. I think when you look to this wide receiving unit, I mean, you brought up some good points. I mean, some of these younger guys, I'm excited to see them develop too. I mean, I think, and they're bigger wide receivers. We didn't talk about Shaz Preston, Amari Niblock, those guys that are going to continue to evolve. Okay, Dave, this is, I'm going to get out of here, but this is my last Tecmo Bowl story, okay? I'm going back to Tecmo Bowl one more time.
Okay.
So my son plays football, is in 8th grade. So we go up from Northridge High School. We go up to McEldory. Well, you know who played at McEldory, right? It was Bo Jackson. That's the high school that he played with. It's just south of Birmingham. So I'm talking to people.
Right. Yeah, I did know.
Yeah, so I'm talking to people before the game. I go up to this. He might have been a little bit older than me. And I'm like, hey, I love stories and getting to know like the areas. Like, were you here when Bo Jackson played? And he was like, yeah, actually I was. And the field I think might be named after him. And I was like, what was it like? And he was like, he's like, you ever played Tecmo Bowl? He's like, that was exactly what it was like. I was like, oh man, makes perfect sense. David, call again anytime. Appreciate it, man. You stay safe up in Nashville. Eat some hot chicken for me, and I'll catch up with you soon.
All right, sounds good.
All right. David, all right, this is our last call of the night. We got a 313. You ready? All right, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This Durrell, I had to call back.
Durrell for seconds from Detroit?
Yes, sir.
You're calling back for seconds. End the show, man. We batted around the lineup. So, Durrell, take it away, man.
All right, you guys touched on some points, and to finish up the show, we're going to talk about just the future. And I'm glad you guys brought up Keelan Robinson and Texas and Jaleel Billingsley and those guys and Texas A&M. So we're going to start at Texas. Nick Saban plays 3-dimensional chess out here. And I don't know if everybody follows it like I do, but a running back named Keelan Robinson decided to take his ring from the SEC championship, and somehow it got into the hands of some Pawn Stars. Not only that, Ajay Hall, who got dismissed from the team for disciplinary reasons, went over to Texas, did the same thing. Jaleel Billingsley went over to Texas, did the same thing. So Saban has a process. He's going to go into that game. The team knows it's an attitude. You did something egregious. You gave away something sacred, and you don't even start. So that's the first thing. And B, he's going to prove the process is the process for a reason. You see these players left, and you see the result of them leaving and what happened when they thought they could skirt the program and skirt the process. The second thing, the GOAT just signed a new contract. Yep. And again, if you follow it like I do, some coaches on the recruiting trail, for some reason, decide to say Nick Saban is going to retire. He's going to retire. He's going to retire. Well, with this new contract, what excuse can you make up now? And then besides that, it's 3D chess. He's going to prove to Texas A&M when we play them, we are going to forever get our lick back. Don't think you're just going to get one over on Alabama and it's not going to come back to haunt you. We're going to come into that game with a vengeance. But B, besides that, getting our lick back, it's going to be the thing where it's like, I told you so. You paid for this first overall class with NIL deals. Look what I came into the season and did without having to entice players with money, with prestige, with the process, with the prospect of come to Alabama and be great. So it's multi-tiered, and he's going to play three-dimensional chess. So just for the rest of the season, I want everybody to think of, again, the process and not just each game, but the Saban's thought process going into each game. He signed a contract extension. Recruiting is just going to keep going. They're going to rein in NIL, and he's showing the whole national football world, I'm the GOAT for a reason, and I'm not going anywhere. So Keelan Robinson, he stuck the nail in the coffin of Texas before we even played. And again, with this new contract, NIL, and when we play Texas A&M, the world is going to see at that sixth game. You can buy all the talent that you want, but if you're not going to produce them, if you're not going to just nurture that talent, if they're not going to be willing to listen and to be a part of the process or of a process and work and grind to be great, you could be a 5-star in high school all you want. That doesn't mean anything if you're not going to translate it and push yourself once you get to the next level. You're not playing high school just no more. Everybody's a grown man with aspirations of going to the NFL. Everybody. So that was it. I just had to call in because you guys touched on some points. And I'm like, wow, I forgot how close I follow it and just what's going on with this Pawn Shar stuff. And then just the whole back and forth with Texas A&M from the earlier in the season. Jimbo and Sark, they've done something that they didn't want to do. And it's not just going to be them that have to deal with it. It's the entirety of college football.
Hey, Durrell, well, I appreciate you calling back for seconds, man. Call in anytime you want to call in. We appreciate your feedback. Have a beautiful Sunday evening. I hope you get some good rest, and I hope all of you guys start out fresh on Monday. So we'll let you go, Durrell, and thank you very much for calling in. Twice.
Happy holidays,
twice.
Everybody roll tide.
All right, roll tide. He came in for seconds. I like that, right? He wanted more of the show. I think he hit on some good points too. One thing that I heard is about Ajay Hall. All right, nugget alert. I heard that it wasn't even the coaches that had him exit the team. I heard that it was the leadership council that came together and basically made the call that he wasn't right for the organization. And I thought, wow. I mean, when you talk about, leaders that are on the team and you want leadership and guys that are going to do what's best for the team, I think that was, maybe one of the most significant moments in the offseason, right? Or those guys coming together to make that call collectively for what was better for the team. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. I hope you guys had a great time tonight. I hope you have a beautiful week. We'll have Nick Saban on Monday. If you guys could hit the thumbs up, it goes a long way on every single video. Just remember, hit the thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. If you want to support Bama Insider, you could always drop a super chat. You can like our videos with a super thanks, and you can also be a member of our YouTube channel. Just hit the join button at the bottom of this video. We really appreciate you guys. 76,000, and it helps us build our staff. We continue to add to the YouTube staff. There's a lot of people behind the scenes. We have Chris, who's producing tonight. You don't see him, but he's making a lot of things go. And of course, the whole team at BamaInsider.com. We really appreciate you guys. So thank you very much for watching our videos. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com.